Okay, so in this video we're taking a look at the LFO section in Serum. Serum has one of the most versatile editors where we can really modulate the sound in infinite creative ways. So what does an LFO do? In a nutshell, LFOs basically move any knob on our console, modulating and controlling the different sounds. So we have three modes here. The first one is off, which will enable you to have a sound that keeps changing, for example, a pad sound. So I've designed quite a simple pad sound here. I've attached LFO 1 to the cutoff there, which is on MG Low 12. So the way the off mode works, if I play my sound, it'll play from any position on this wavetable. Whereas if I put it on envelope mode, it'll always play from the start of this wavetable. And if I put it on trig mode, again it'll always start from the start position. So with the envelope mode, the sound will cycle through once, then stop once I release the note. Whereas the trig mode will keep looping. So if I put it on trig mode. Next to these settings we have the BPM mode, which basically syncs the LFO to the time setting in our DAW. So I'm playing this sound through here, and if I've got it set to 120 on my DAW, it'll play through at 120. If I increase that to, say if I went up to 172, like drum and bass BPM, it'll go. So next to this, the rate knob controls how long the LFO cycles through. So I can have it either set to quarter, half or 1 bar. So it's like cycle through slower there. If I increase that to half bar, quarter bar, it'll get faster. And that's 1/16. Moving on, we have the trip control setting there, which can further alter the timing of our sound to triplets. So if I put that on and move the control knob up, it will say T next to the quarter there, which shows it's on triplets. And triplets are between whole values. So I've got quarter to 1/8 and then 1/8 triplet to 1/16. Then if I check the dot box, it will resonate to the values in between the triplets. So as you can see, we're getting a dot by the 1/8 now, which will add further swing to our sound. So we then have the rise control knob, which brings the LFO effect in gradually. So if I was to take this up to 1 bar, the LFO effect will come in more gradually. But if I take it up to 1/8, take up to 1 bar. Finally, we have the smooth knob, which basically does what it says on the tin. It smooths out the LFO sound. Whereas if I have it all the way down, that harshness comes in quickly. Then on the left side here we have this folder icon, which is where we can see all the different LFO shapes. So you have all these preset LFO shapes here, including this sidechain one. And you can also import different presets for LFO shapes. The next setting I wanted to show you was the grid here. So the grid is very useful for creating more complex LFO patterns. We can create different LFO ARP shapes here. I'm on a Mac, so I'm using the Shift to pull down sections of this wavetable, which effectively turns my sound into an arpeggiated sound. So if I press Shift and hold over different sections, I can drag these sections down. So I can create extra points on this LFO shape just by hovering over the section I want to add points to, press Shift, and I can click once, and then I can actually drag this point anywhere across the grid, or I can alternatively press Alt on my keyboard and it will snap to the different grid sections on my squares there, as you can see. So I can create some more complexity in my LFO shapes. Let's have a look at creating some LFO affected sounds now. So just as an example here, guys, I've just got a very basic sound. So I'm just modulating the cutoff on the filter with the LFO shape 1, and I've got the oscillator A and oscillator B running through the filter. So on this sound, I'm actually modulating the wavetable position with the LFO. So I've got a saw down shape LFO, and I'm modulating the wavetable position on both oscillator A and B. So what I can do there is actually move the wavetable position around to pick certain points of the sound that I like. So there we go, just in brief there, just going through the LFO section. Obviously there's a lot of experimentation there you can do just by routing the LFO to any different parameters on your synth.